guys, welcome back to Coding Club. Today we're going to learn a couple new things. Let's take a look. First, we're going to go over a new website that we're going to use this year called Glitch. Instead of using Cloud9, we're going to use Glitch. I know we just got you guys set up on Cloud9, but Glitch is a new software that we actually just learned about, and it's a lot faster and quicker and kind of prettier than Cloud9, so we're going to use that one instead. It's really easy. After we learn how to set that up, we are going to review what is called our HTML skeleton. That's the basic code anytime we're going to use HTML that we'll need to use. Next, we're going to learn about something called nesting, which is something that you'll have to do in HTML. And we will also be building a basic website with divs, something called a div, in order to go over nesting. After we have a basic website that's all nested properly, we will add some style to it. And then last, I'm going to show you guys how to clone down, do something called clone down in GitHub. And I'll give you a link to something called a repo. I'll tell you what all of that means. And basically, that's going to allow you to do some fun labs on your own. So let's get started. First, Glitch. Open a new tab. Go to glitch.com. Woohoo! We did it. Okay. You're going to click sign in, and then you're going to click sign in with GitHub, and you're going to sign in using the account that you just made with us together on GitHub. Let's wait a moment for that to work. Great, we've got it. I'm already signed in. I've been on here before, so it auto-logged me in. For you, you'll probably have to put your username and password. Next, we're going to click up here in the top corner, New Project. And we are going to make a hello web page because we're customizing a basic web page. And we've got it. One awesome thing about Glitch that's not true about Cloud9 is over here on the left-hand side, just like in over here on Cloud9, you have to make all these files. On Glitch, they have them already made for you. So we have our HTML file, and it's already got stuff in it. We'll talk about that in a moment. We already have a JavaScript file, which we'll learn later, and we already have a style file. We are actually not going to use the JavaScript or style files right now. We are only going to focus on HTML while we figure out what this is. The other cool thing about Glitch is that it already does the skeleton for you. So in the future, we're just going to get started coding right away. But for now, I want to make sure you guys understand what all of this stuff means and that you know exactly how to do it on your own when it's not done for you. So we're actually going to erase all of this. Cool. Once it's erased, this is Glitch. So let's get started doing our review of the HTML skeleton. So the first thing that you're going to do for your HTML skeleton is open your angle brackets. That's your little greater than less than symbol. It's called an angle bracket. We're going to put an exclamation point that tells the computer that this is just like a FYI. It's not actual code that they need to read. And we are going to type type HTML. This tells us that we're looking at an HTML document, and it's very important that you have it at the start of all your HTML documents. Click enter. Next, we need to actually start the HTML code. Without these next tags, the computer won't know that we're doing HTML and it won't know how to read it. So, angle bracket, HTML to start your HTML. And notice that when you put your close angle bracket, it automatically does this thing down here called a close tag for you. So this is our open tag. This is a close tag. You know it's a close tag because it's got this little slash before it. So everything that comes in between here, the computer has identified as HTML. And this is where nesting comes into play. My next line, notice how it's indented. I don't have it all the way on the edge. I want it that way. I want it indented because everything that's inside the HTML or everything inside these things is going to be it's in our HTML. It comes before we do the close. We open it, and then before we close it, we put some other stuff. So because it's inside, we're going to indent it. The first thing that we're going to add to our HTML, you can think of it like a person. We're going to do our head. And then after the head, not inside the head, but after the head, we're going to do our body. Now, the reason that head and body are on the same line is because they're not inside one another. The head starts and the head ends, and then the body starts and the body ends. If I was writing inside of the head before I ended it, I would be indenting, okay? And that's what we call nesting. Now, Just like with a person, everything that's in the head of a person is stuff that you can't see. You can't see what goes on in the head, but what goes on in someone's head is what governs or what controls the behavior of everything that you do see. Their clothes are based on what's going on in their head. What the way they act is based on what's going on in their head. Just like with a person in a computer, everything in the head is stuff that the viewer can't see. Everything we put in here is instructions for the computer and how to read the web page. We will talk about what goes in there later in this video. Right now, we're going to focus on the body. On a person, you can see everything that's on their body. You can see their clothes, you can see how they act. This is stuff that we can see. Same thing with a web page. Everything in the body is stuff that the viewer can see. So we are going to work inside the body. So you want to make sure you're in between the open body and the closed body. So right in between. And because we're in between, we are going to indent to show that we are inside the body. All right, let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is our title. And if you remember our titles on a web page, they're called a header. We'll do an H1, our biggest header possible, and I'm going to type, I want my name, Miss Dunn. Cool. After my title, let's do a subtitle. So something a little, it's a still title, so we're still going to use the header, but it's a little bit, it's like a third level instead of the first level, the first one, the biggest. So it's going to be a little smaller. And inside my subtitle or my H3 tags, I'll put the coolest person alive. Let's just see how this looks. To see how it looks, click the live button over here. It'll open a new tab for you. Loading, 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 and now I can see my title, my subtitle. All right, after my subtitle, let's get a paragraph in there. So we're going to do our P tag, and inside the paragraph, so it's indented a little bit inside the P tag, let's put Miss Dunn, or whatever you want. It's obviously the coolest person ever. She is so much cooler than Mr. Oops. Oh, I wrote Miss. Oops. Mr. Siegel. She is the coolest because she likes to dance. Great. I just wrote some random sentences in there. And if I look at my preview, you can see my paragraph has typed. Now, I actually want to section some stuff off. I want to have different sections of my website. This will happen a lot. Whenever you look at a website, usually it's broken down into different sections. These sections are what we call divs. I want, kind of like a divider, you can think of it. I want all of this stuff that I just did, all of it, I want it all to go in a div. We'll set that my first section. So I'm going to back up a little bit, go back to my body. I'm going to start a div. Automatically made my close, but I want this stuff to go inside my div. So let's get rid of this close. And I don't want to end it until I'm at the end of this section after my paragraph. Make sure it's lined up with my div and close it. Oop. Oh, it already did it. Huh. Cool. Close my div. Now, there's an issue with my indenting, my nesting. This stuff is supposed to be inside the div. I know that because the div starts here and it ends here. But right now, it's all indented on the same line. You can see as I move my cursor up, it's all on the same line. If this is inside, it should be indented. Let's indent everything so that now this is inside it. We can see by the indentation. Let's indent this stuff. You can highlight it and click tab and it will indent all of it at once, which is great. Cool. Now you can see that my open div and my closed div, all the stuff inside it is all indented. Anytime you put something in between the open and the close, it's always going to get an indent. The only time it's going to be on the same line is when we've already closed the thing before it. It's not inside it, it's separate. Cool. Let's start a new section. So I'm going to start a new div. It's after my closed div from before, so it's going to be on the same line. Div. Let's make a header, a smaller header, and we'll say things, let's see, things that make Miss Dunn the coolest person ever. And we'll make a list. So after my title, I'm going to start, let's do an unordered list, so bullets. If I wanted to do an order list or an OL, that would give me numbers instead of bullets. Okay, inside my list, let's put some items. To put an item, we do a LI for list. The first thing that makes Miss Dunn the coolest person ever. She likes the coolest music ever. Great, first bullet. Let's take a look at how that looks. Here we go, first bullet. She likes the coolest music ever. Next bullet. She has, why my cat's not working? She has a dope dog named Maxwell. And he is the coolest dog ever. And one more bullet. What's another reason Miss Dunn is the coolest person ever? She teaches the coolest course ever. Great. So here's my first section of the website. Here's my second section of the website. This is my first div. This is my second div. Right now you can't really see it, but this will make more sense when we do some styling, which we're about to do now. So let's look at how to make it look pretty. Okay. One thing. Why do we have all this indenting? What's the point of it? It may seem tedious. It may seem annoying. Here's the reason why. When you are looking at a lot of code, now this is just a little bit. This is just a little bit of code. This will probably be able to figure out if something's wrong with it pretty quickly. But when you're doing a lot of code, we have 29 lines right now. What if we had like 500 lines and we had to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and figure out what's wrong with the code? It's not working. When stuff is indented, it makes it a lot easier to find stuff. It's a little bit more, or it's a lot more organized. If this stuff was all not indented, it was all on the same line, it would be a lot harder to read because you wouldn't know what goes inside what ends where, and how things play out. Also, I could use these little arrows and kind of like collapse stuff. So if I don't want to look at this div, I could close it. This would not work if an indenting didn't work. So I could say, okay, this div's fine. I know the problem's not here. Let's close that and let's focus on this stuff. I can't do that if it's not indented properly. So later, you're going to get a lab, and you'll see exactly what I mean, because there'll be a bunch of code, and it's not going to be indented. It's all going to start right at the edge, and you'll have to figure out how to indent. Well, how do you do that? Well, every time something starts, like this header, if something else starts before it closes, before I see this close tag, the thing inside it should be indented. Look at the body. It closes all the way down here, so all the stuff inside it is indented. Let's look at the first div. It closes here, so all the stuff inside it is indented. H1, it closes here, so the thing inside it is indented. The next thing starts on the same line. H3, same line. Same with the divs. It closed, and then I start a new thing, so I keep it on the same line. So you can use the open and close tags to figure out how your indenting should work for that lab later on. Let's talk about style. Let's make it pretty. Right now, it's a really ugly website. To style, we're going to go into the head. We're going to tell the head that I want to style it. We don't want the person to see our styling code. This is stuff that tells the web page how to read it and how to make it look. We don't want the person to see our instructions for styling. Make your style tags, and then we're going to go inside the style tags, and this is where all our pretty stuff will be. What should I style first? Let's do my H1, my title. I want my name to be purple. Yeah, let's make it purple. So I'm going to select my H1. I want my H1 to be purple, so I'm going to type H1 just like this, like so. And then I'm going to do a curly brace. It looks like this. It's a funny looking bracket. And I'm going to close my curly brace down here. So we have the open one and the closed one. Everything inside here will style or adjust my H1 tag. So, for example, let's change the color of it. Let's make it purple. Purple. So I put color, colon, space, purple. And at the end, I'm going to put a semicolon. Semicolons are like periods in this type of language. So now I'm telling it for H1, I want the color of it to be purple. And if I go take a look, My name has changed. Purple. Woohoo! What else do I want? Let's make it, let's give it a background color. Let's make the background color black. Cool. Now this thing has a background color of black and a font color of purple. I also don't like this text. It's Times New Roman. Let's change the text. Text. Let's make it Arial. I like that one better. Oop, I don't think there's an E. Like that? Maybe there is an E. Cool. I forgot how it's spelled. This is a great moment. Let's take a look at different types of fonts. I'm going to just Google different fonts for CSS. Here's a bunch of different fonts you can use. Let's click it. All I did was Google. I did not know this website beforehand, so you are welcome to Google stuff as much as you want. Let's go down and see if we can get a list. Here we go. Arial. A-R-I-A-L. Thought that's what I did. Ah, I see. I wrote text instead of font. Typo. There we go. It should be font. Our font is Arial. Still doesn't want to work for me. Let's try Helvetica instead. Maybe it's got to be font style. Nope. This is very common. We have all our issues with this, and we need to work through and figure out what they do. It should be, let's see, font family. Let's see if we work now. There we go. Okay, font family. Sorry about that, guys. A lot of times, here's a big tip with coders. A lot of times we don't have this code memorized. You may memorize it on your own from doing it so much, but we're not going to give you flashcards. You shouldn't be memorizing this stuff. One great thing about coders is that we are resourceful and we know how to look stuff up, though. So when you don't know something, your best friend is Google. Google it and figure out how to do it. It's all problem solving, guys. Okay, so I changed my font to Helvetica. I changed my color to purple. I changed my background to black in my H1. Let's style something different this time. I'm going to style, let's style my paragraphs. So I'm going to open my key, curly brace, close my curly brace, and inside there, let's see. Let's make, let me show you something cool. Colors in colors in CSS. I'm going to type W3 schools. There we go. I want this one. W3 schools CSS colors. There's a bunch of colors here. Here they all are. All of these colors are built in. The computer knows what they are. Let's do, I like this one. Here, I just picked a random one. It's called medium purple. So I'm going to make the, let's make the background medium purple. So if I go back to glitch, for my paragraph, I'm going to make the background color medium purple. Take a look. Computer knows up to 140 different colors by name, even really weird ones like sea green will make it this, slate blue will make it this one, steel blue will make it this one. So you can style it by name. You can also use something called a hex code, which is over here. We'll learn about that in a later lesson. And we'll learn about other ways to do colors as well. But for now, you can come to this website and pick out any color that you want that's listed here and type it in, and it should work. Let's make my font family Helvetica. Let's make this one Arial. Now it should work since I have the right. Cool. You can see it's a different font now. Let's pick a different thing. Let's style my, I've never tried this. Let's style my UL, my unordered list. I've never done this, so I'm not sure if it would work, but we could try. Let's make the background color. Let's pick a good one. I saw one I liked. Let's do this, dark turquoise. Go back to glitch. Background color is dark turquoise. And my semicolon to close my sentence. Let's see if that worked. Oh, it did. Check it out. My list now all has a background color of dark turquoise. Let me get font, family, oops, Helvetica. And it's done. Cool. So this is the basics of styling. You pick the thing that you want to style. This is called your selector. And it's based on whatever it was in the HTML. So you'll notice that when I click this, all of the H1s will select down here. So I'm styling this piece. My paragraph will style my paragraph over here. My UL will style my unordered list. And anything else that you could pick, you could style it as well. So we have background, we have color, background color, font family. You can look up some fonts to learn other fonts that you can use if you don't like Arial or Helvetica. What other stuff can we style, or what other stuff can we use? We can use something called a box shadow, and that will give it a shadow. Let's do 4 pixels, 4px for pixels. Let's see what happens there. Did it work? Mm, 4px, 4px. There we go. I got a shadow now. The first 4 pixels tells it to go to the side, and the second one tells it to go down. So now I have a shadow on this box, and it makes it look like it pops out a little bit, which is pretty cool. What other styling things can I do? I can change the font size. Let's make it, it's probably 12 for default, so let's make it 16 pixels. My font's a little bit bigger. You'll see really big if I do it like 30 or something big. You can notice how it changes. Bigger. Let's make my title, let's make it centered. Text, align, center. And now my name is centered. So there's a lot of different things that you can style. If you're curious about more things, open up Google, CSS style tags. And you can see all of the different stuff that you can style here. Color, background color, ones that we've talked about. Background color, 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 font family, font size, we've talked about those as well. Border, set a border. I'm just going to take this whole code. I'm going to stick it in, let's give my paragraph a border. So this tells me it's going to be 1 pixel thick. It's going to be a solid border, so it's just a solid line, and here's the color of it. You can see really small if you zoom in. I have a powder blue border around here now. So there's lots of things that you can style. Last thing that we need to do is how to clone down glitch. So you are going to go to, and we'll give you the website, github.com/upperlinecode FEHTML unscramble lab. Here's the website that you're going to go to, and we'll send it out so you guys have it. Once you have that, you're going to click green button over here, clone or download. Click this to copy the link over here, and then you're going to head back to glitch. Let's do, I believe it's new file. Nope, not there we go. Okay, so you're going to click the name up here, project name, click down to advanced options, and you're going to click import from GitHub. We have to click grant access. Let's go back in. Advanced options, import from GitHub, and here's where we're going to want to put the link. Command V to paste. Let's see. Something went wrong. Try again. Oh. Import from GitHub. Okay, I think we need to start it here. upperlinecode.com/git. Interesting. Import from an existing GitHub repo. The whole line should work. All right, folks, if it's not working, that's okay. When you get to this step, let us know, and we'll come by and we'll show you how to import it while we figure out what's going on here and why it's not working. Try one more time to see if it works. Nope, something went wrong. Okay, let us know when you get to this step, and we'll show you how to clone down this lab so that you can get it. Once you open it up and clone it, you'll have the basic one, which is simpler, and the challenge one, which is really hard, and you will be responsible for figuring out how to appropriately nest and indent. That's our video for today. Hope you guys enjoy. Happy coding!